You spent 40 years of your life doing the responsible thing, and now it's time to be a little bit less responsible. Here's what I mean by that. You sacrificed, you saved, and you invested. You put money away into your 401k, your IRA, and your brokerage accounts, and you built this nest egg that was really designed for one thing: freedom. But a strange thing happens for a lot of people once they get to retirement. You think about spending that money. Maybe it's on a trip or a new car or even just a nice dinner out. And this wave of anxiety just hits you. It's like this feeling of guilt, almost even fear, and the freedom you worked so hard for just doesn't feel good. I'm Josh, CFP and partner at an award-winning retirement firm. I've guided over 500 clients through retirement. Let's do a deep dive in under 10 minutes. You are not alone here. One study I was looking at from the Alliance for Lifetime Income found that 47% of retirees say spending money in retirement gives them anxiety. It kind of reminds me of when I'm watching my favorite TV show. Bear with me here. During the last season of Succession, I was so happy to have my Sunday night routine and see what the Roy family was up to that week. But every week, I also felt incredibly anxious, knowing that the season will end soon and there will be no more Roman Roy in my life. I couldn't get it in my head that there are plenty more prestige TV shows, more now than ever, and they seem to be coming out nearly every week. So why so anxious? It's one of the great ironies of financial planning. For so many people, the biggest risk isn't actually running out of money. It's the risk of never truly living the life that they spent decades saving for. So for the next few minutes, we're going to dissect this fear. We'll look at why your brain is hardwired to feel this way. And then I'm going to give you a practical, step-by-step framework to finally give yourself permission. Permission to spend your money and enjoy the life you worked so hard to build. To solve this problem, we first have to understand where it comes from. For most of your adult life, your financial brain has really only operated in one mode, and that's accumulation. Every financial decision was viewed through the lens of saving. A single dollar spent was a dollar that you couldn't invest. A purchase felt like a threat to your retirement. You spent 30 or 40 years strengthening this saving muscle. It became an ingrained habit, a core part of who you are. Now, all of a sudden in retirement, you're being asked to do a complete 180. The switch from being a saver to a spender feels unnatural, almost reckless. The paycheck that was your security blanket for decades is gone. It's been replaced by a portfolio balance that you now have to start withdrawing from. And that's a massive psychological shift that honestly nobody really prepares you for. This leads to what researchers call the retirement consumption gap. It's the difference between what retirees could safely spend and what they actually spend. Now, this fear is fueled by legitimate concerns, right? What if the market crashes right after I retire? What about inflation? And what will future healthcare costs look like? Well, first, be sure to check out the video in the description below. After you finish watching this one, we'll cover a great strategy to handle that sequence of return risk. A recent Fidelity study estimated that the average 65-year-old couple might need around $345,000 just for healthcare expenses in retirement. And of course, there's the desire to leave a legacy for children and grandchildren. These what ifs can create this constant anxiety not to spend. But this comes with its own risk. We get so focused on the fear of running out of money that we completely ignore the idea of dying with too much. Michael Kitces, the king of financial planning, has done a ton of research on this. He's found that because of conservative spending, many retirees' portfolios actually continue to grow throughout their retirement. They end their lives with significantly more money than they started with. And that's not because they wanted to, but mostly because fear kept them from using it. Retirement isn't just one long block of time. It has phases. Many planners, myself included, talk about the go-go or slow-go or no-go years, What do these mean? So your rate of spending in retirement is not a straight line. There will be years or decades even with more expenses. And then there will be years with much less. When you let fear dictate your spending, you are essentially choosing to forfeit the very reward you worked your entire life to earn. The ultimate goal isn't just to retire with wealth. It's to use that wealth to live a rich and meaningful life. So how do we fix this? It begins with a mindset shift. If you've always dreamed of taking your grandkids on that big Disney trip, do it. That's why you worked so hard to get to this point. If you want to finally build that dream basement or do that souped up kitchen remodel, do it. Give yourself permission. You did the hard work. You were responsible. You have absolutely earned the right to enjoy it. Now, it is worth mentioning that, of course, you need to have a framework in place. Tons of retirees like the idea of using pillars. Pillar 1, secure the essentials. Work with your professionals, or if you do this yourself, run the numbers. Run the full plan analysis. If you retired or are just about to, you most likely already did this. You know you have enough to retire. Pillar 2, freedom to spend. This is the fun stuff spending. For travel, hobbies, dining out, do you want to take 2 big trips a year? Great, let's set a budget for it. Do you want to play pickleball at the club 3 times a week? Perfect, let's plan for that. Create that retirement paycheck that can cover these expenses. Just make sure you plan ahead for them. Check out the description below to watch a deep dive on that exact topic. Pillar 3, prepare for the unexpected. One of the biggest drivers of that spending anxiety is the fear of the unknown. Something you heard about, or maybe you even saw firsthand with a parent or relative. There's a sudden health issue, a major home repair, or a total stock market crash. In my video on sequence of return risk, you saw what can happen. Again, all you need to do is to plan for this. In that video, we talked about creating 3 buckets: cash, bonds, and stocks. Each have their own purpose, and when a plan is created proactively, you have the ability to be well prepared for that next market downturn. Building these plans are not always easy, but it's time well spent. Having a well thought out plan more than doubles your confidence in your financial security. You've spent a lifetime being a great saver, but the skills that got you to retirement are not the same skills that you need to thrive in retirement. If you were good at saving, then let yourself be good at spending. If you want to keep learning how to be good at retirement, subscribe for our future videos and comment below. What surprised you the most today? We'll feature your comments in future videos.